We're going to deep dive today into Lee Heigelman. And if you just look at him on the surface, I mean, total do-gooder, right? Pays taxes, helps neighbors, holds doors, passes the offering plate at church. Just seemingly ordinary.
Yeah.
But underneath all that, there was this intense internal struggle going on.
Yeah, a real war, actually.
Exactly. He was dealing with these huge anxieties, worries about getting sick, even just how people looked at him sometimes. It sounds like it just caused his inner world to sort of crumble.
And it wasn't just mental, was it? These weren't just thoughts.
No, not at all. His body reacted, violently. Lips going numb, face tingling, overheating, and then he'd actually collapse, fainting spells repeatedly. It sounds genuinely terrifying.
And the medical side is really key here, because after all the tests, the scans, everything, they found nothing. Zero physical cause. So the consensus became, well, it's psychosomatic. The anxiety was creating real physical symptoms.
So what do you do?
Well, the usual stuff didn't work. Medication actually seemed to make him feel uneven. It even seemed to increase the fainting. So traditional medicine wasn't the answer here.
Which is where things take a really interesting turn. The solution came from completely left field.
Yeah.
His wife, seeing him struggle, just handed him a sketch pad and a pen and basically said, try creating something.
Just like that.
Just like that. And it sort of opened a valve. He started drawing these really kind of bizarre cartoon-style images, stuff reflecting these worlds he had obviously kept buried inside for years.
Interesting. So art was the first step.
It was the first step, yeah. But he realized pretty quickly art probably wasn't his long-term future. So he shifted, started writing. His first short story was in autumn 2019, kind of themed like a lost newspaper article, a bit dark.
And this is where physiologically something really shifted. When he started writing his novel, apparently it just flowed. It came out almost
effortlessly, with all that anxiety.
Well, because of it, maybe. He basically poured all that pent-up anxiety onto the page. It became this external hard drive for his internal conflict.
Yeah.
And the process itself, it seems like it literally started to rewire his brain.
Wow.
He could see these worlds he was creating, visualize the landscapes, the characters, the conversations in, really fine detail. Now, maybe to us they'd seem dark, but for him, it was necessary. It was freeing.
That contrast is so striking, though, because in person, people describe Lee as kind of offbeat, funny, likes to make people laugh, but the writing, much, much darker.
It shows you the depth of what he was holding back, right?
Yeah.
That repression fueled the art.
And it worked for a while. His first book reached, over 45,000 readers, won awards, he traveled for it.
Yeah, there's definitely external validation. But that brought its own conflict, didn't it?
It did, because he's naturally quite shy, apparently. So the idea of selling this work, marketing it, it felt almost impossible. He described the writing as deeply personal, so commercializing it was a real struggle. Profitability started to dip.
So what happens when that primary outlet starts to feel strained?
He branched out.
Yeah?
Tried other creative things, screenplays, making videos. He even recorded some alternative rock albums.
Diverse.
Yeah. But the storytelling, that core need, it always pulled him back to writing.
I think this reveals the deeper motivation. It wasn't really about hitting bestseller lists or making tons of money.
Right.
The fulfillment came from something else. It was by taking care of himself creatively, by processing that internal chaos through writing, he actually freed up the mental space to be that do-gooder neighbor he wanted to be. The creativity enabled the outward persona.
That makes so much sense. The art wasn't the opposite of his life. It was the key to it.
Exactly. But it's not a magic cure.
No, definitely not. He still has episodes, the anxiety flares up, he still faints sometimes.
So the creativity isn't a one-time fix, it's an ongoing practice. A tool he has to keep using to ground himself when things get tough. He has to keep going back to that well. But the beauty of it, the real takeaway perhaps, is the legacy. By constantly returning to that creative act, he's building this body of work that will exist long after him, long after the symptoms.
Okay, so let's bring this home for you, the listener. We wanted to leave you with something to think about, drawn right from Lee's experience. What do you do when you feel stressed? When that internal pressure builds up? We all consume creativity, right? We read books, watch movies, listen to music someone else made.
We live off it, in a way.
Totally. But if we only consume, where do the new voices, the new ideas, the new art come from? They could just dry up. So maybe, just maybe, the answer to your own internal friction isn't trying to ignore it or push it down. Maybe, like Lee, it's about picking up that pen or that instrument or whatever your version is and creating something, actively creating.